Hello all, in this video we're going to look at converting standard form into ordinary form. If you haven't already, it would help with this video if you do watch my video on converting ordinary form to standard form, because knowing one will help you with the other. So let's take a look at some examples. So here we're given numbers already written in standard form and we want to put them into ordinary form. So we want 5, 0, 6, maybe a bunch of zeros, but we don't want multiplied by 10 to any power. We want to get rid of that. So on the first question, we've got 5.06, it's multiplied by 10 to the power 1, so it's just being multiplied by 10, so it's going to make it bigger. We've got 5, it's going to make it bigger by 1/10, so we're going to change it to 50.6, and that's all there is to it. The second question, it's getting a little bit trickier. It's going to have a 5, a 0 and a 6 in our answer. We just need to figure out where our decimal point is going to be so that it gives the 5, the 0 and the 6 its place value. What we're going to do is we're going to multiply this number by 10. We're going to do that 5 times. So if I multiply it once by 10, we get 50.6. If I multiply it again by 10, I get 506. We multiply it again by 10, we get 5060. We multiply it again by 10, we get 50600. And we multiply it once more by 10, we get 506000. So technically what we've done here is we've moved the decimal point 5 times so that we get 506,000. Now I've multiplied those individually by 10 every time. That's not, as I've just mentioned, what you need to do. The easiest way I find to do it, if I write 506 and then put just a bunch of zeros after, it doesn't matter how many you put. We know that from the other video, if you watch converting ordinary to standard form, all we're doing is moving the decimal point. So on this one, I moved it 5 times so that I get this number here. On the next example, there's a slight difference where this time I've got a negative power. Now again, what I'd suggest is watch my video on converting ordinary to standard form. If it's a negative power, we know that this number is going to be less than 1. So it's going to get smaller. So what's happening here actually is I'm dividing this number by 10 5 times to make it smaller. So what I'd do here is I'd write a bunch of zeros, again it doesn't matter how many, and I've got 5.06. so we've got to make this number smaller, so we're going to move the decimal point this way. We're going to do it 5 times because of that power. So that's 1, 2, 3, and that's where my decimal point should be. So that gives me the number 0.00005. The important thing here again is we don't lose these digits, they stay in the same position. So there's my number. On the next one, we can see again it's a negative power, so it's going to make my number smaller, but only by one lot of 10. So if I put in a bunch of zeros, 0.506, the decimal point needs to move once because it's only to the power 1 and it goes this direction because of the negative. So my answer is 0.0506, like so. Lastly, a little bit of a trick question, but you should know from your index laws, any number to the power of 0 is 1. So actually all we're doing here is 5.06 multiplied by 1, which is obviously 5.06. So watch out for that question. It's just a nice one to chuck in to check that you do recognize and you do recall your index laws. Here we've got some more examples. What I would suggest is you have a go at these ones for yourself initially, see how far you could get with it. So pause the video now if you do want to have a go at them. Right, let's see how you did on these if you did try them for yourself. So I've got 7 multiplied by 10 to the power 4. So technically here I'm doing 7 multiplied by 10 4 times, which should be 10,000. So my answer is 70,000. On the next one, I could write this as 7 with a bunch of zeros after it, like so. At the moment there isn't a decimal point, so it's here after the 7. You'd have to move it 6 times. So we end up with 7 million. For question 3, the first thing I note is it's a negative power. So we're going to make this number smaller, only by one lot of 10. So my decimal point needs to go this direction to make it smaller, only once. So my answer is 0.71. Similarly on question 4, it's a negative power, so we're going to make this number smaller. We've got 7.1 at the moment. Put a couple of zeros in front of it like so. We'll move it 3 times. So we get 0.0071. And then lastly, it's a positive power, so we're going to make the 7.1 bigger, and we're going to get 710 is my answer to the final question. Hopefully you had some success at those. A couple of things to recap on. Again, whatever digits you've got in your number, they need to stay. It is just the value of those numbers that change. So my decimal point is about deciding whether you're going to make it go left or go right, how many places, etc. So you change that into an ordinary number. Here you've got a couple of questions left to try yourself. There's actually 5 of them there. There you go. So I'd suggest try those for yourself for a couple of minutes and then check back in and see how you did in your answer. So pause the video now. Right, let's see how you did on these. So on the first question, we're going to have 734 in our answer. We've got to move the decimal point 4 times in a direction that makes the number bigger because it's a positive power. So it's going to be 73400 73,000. Second question, we're moving it 6 times this time, so we're going to have 734. My thinking on it at the moment is the decimal point is now beyond that 4. I've used 2 of the 10s, so we got 4 of them left, so there's going to be 4 zeros at the end of my answer. And that gives me 7,340,000. Question 3, first thing you see is you got a negative power, so this number here needs to get smaller. 0.703 would be your answer. For the fourth question, we could put a bunch of zeros in front of the 7 because we know the decimal point is going in that direction. 3 times we need to move it. So my answer becomes 0.00703. And lastly, hopefully you remember this from earlier, any number to the power of 0 is just 1. So actually our number here, or our number in ordinary form, is 7.03. Hopefully you had some success on those and you understand how to convert standard form into ordinary form now. And as I mentioned earlier, do check out the video as well on converting ordinary to standard form. When you've seen both of them together, that should make it a lot more understandable for you. Thank you for watching.